Hi, I'm Lanny's little sister, Diane. You are very, very lucky to know Lanny, as I'm so lucky that he's my big brother. Lanny's probably told you 1,000 times already, but I live in Ukraine, outside of Kiev, on a little hobby farm with my husband, his mom, who's almost 90, many, many, many pets, and lots of fruit trees. I teach English to grades 1 and 2 at a small international school nearby. Lanny and his family came to visit Ukraine in the summer of 2019. That was kind of our last fun summer. Since then, we've had the COVID epidemic, and now almost a full year of Russia bombing and killing Ukrainians. When Lanny came to visit, we picked blueberries every day. We drove past sunflower field after sunflower field. We went on excursions to learn Ukrainian history. And we ate very, very well. Those of you who know Lanny know that he loves to try new foods and to eat in general. So that was an important part of our trip together. I want to thank you for that you've come together to support Ukraine a year after it was invaded by Russia. I have always thought myself as a peace-loving person. But peace is not peace if a country is always having to defend itself. Peace is not peace without justice. My husband, me, and every Ukrainian I know want you to pray for victory for Ukraine, not just peace. For us, peace looks like this. Obviously, Russia cannot give back all the people that it has killed. All the soldiers, all the men, the women, and all of the children are irreplaceable. But for those of us who remain, for example, my friend Alla's beautiful house in Irvin. There was only one wall standing when she returned to the city after it was liberated in March. Just one wall. That was all that was left of everything she'd built with her family her whole life. Her and her family are now living at another friend's home. Another friend in Irvin had a bowling alley. That bowling alley was demolished. When I drove by many months later, it was still just a pile of concrete and metal. It's unsalvageable. It was his livelihood. Another friend in Irpin had a cookie factory. The Russians came. They broke all the machinery in the factory. They vandalized all of the delivery trucks so they won't work, or they stole them. Then they proceeded to steal all the food and all the technology. This was a factory where 700 people worked. It will take years to get production back to where it once was. Peace means that Ukraine would return to its internationally recognized borders of 1991, when it became an independent nation. In 2014, Russia began to take away land from Ukraine. First Crimea, then the Donbass region, and in 2022, it tried to take over the whole country. This isn't just some land on a map for me. So many of my friends lost their homes since 2014, and especially this past year. I already mentioned my friend Alla and her home in Irpin. My friend Natasha and her family lost their home in Donetsk in 2014. They fled to the Kiev region and lived in an apartment in Irpin. In March 2022, their apartment was vandalized and looted. There was nothing left. they've had to start over again. I work with a woman named Elena. Her and her family left the city of Kharkiv, where she'd lived most of her life. They moved to Kiev because where they were living in Kharkiv, it was being bombed every day, and it still's being bombed. Everyone just wants to go home and live in safety. Peace means being able to live in your own home and not be a refugee or a displaced person. Last, for me, in my everyday life, peace means not having to go to the bomb shelter with my students several times a week. Yesterday, February 10th, was one of the worst. We were in the bomb shelter from 8:30 to 12 o'clock. Then from 1:15 to 2:45. Then again from 4:30 to 6:15. That's almost 7 hours. In October, all the schools were closed for a week because of the drone attacks on the Kiev region. So many hours that children do not have access to education. In the regions in Ukraine where Russia took control, the soldiers vandalized the schools and burned the Ukrainian textbooks. Teachers who decide to stay in these regions are forced to teach in Russian and to use Russian-approved curriculum and textbooks. Parents in these regions must choose to stay and have their children study Russian curriculum or abandon their homes and try to escape. Peace means Ukrainian children can read and study in their own language. Again, I want to thank you for coming together for this Peace Vigil. As you were praying for peace around the world this evening, remember that everyone in Ukraine wants this war to end. But for there to be peace and safety and stability, there needs to be victory.